When is broad targeting likely to fail, and what can we do to try to get around that? Now, I wrote an entire blog post on this at johnloomer.com/broad. We go a little bit deeper there in the post, so make sure you check that out. So a couple things here before we get to this video. Broad targeting, when we talk about broad targeting, we're talking about removing all targeting inputs, or you're using the old audience approach with custom audiences, lookalike audiences, and detailed targeting, but you have audience expansion on, or we're using the new method of Advantage Plus audience, where any inputs are just suggestions if you provide them at all. So this is ideal for purchase campaigns. There's a reason for that. The algorithm is literal, so it will do everything it can to get you that action. And if purchase is your conversion event, your part of your performance goal, that's the only focus of the algorithm. It can't be misled with low quality purchases. It's not really a thing. Beyond that, you could make the like conversions, other types of conversions are a step down from that, because yes, it will be focused on getting you more conversions. Quality can be an issue, okay? So that said, that's probably the next best thing. The worst thing for broad targeting would be any of the top of the funnel actions. So link clicks, landing page views, any type of engagement, view throughs, etc. And here's the reason. So you've provided a targeting audience that you believe is most likely to be within your target demographic, whatever. And Meta might start with that, but then the audience is expanded. And at that point, the focus really is just on getting you as many of that thing as possible. The problem then becomes the source of those people who are going to perform that action. If it's a purchase, it doesn't matter, right? You're just happy you got the purchase. But if it's a link click, you care whether those people do anything else. And those people probably aren't going to do anything else if we're expanding the audience, going after anybody and everybody, just because they're likely to click. And that's because there's some people just click on everything for whatever reason. There's click fraud, bots before they're detected. There are accidental clicks that happen in certain placements. These are all things that are going to be an issue if we have no guardrails on the targeting, because I otherwise believe in broad targeting. But for this purpose, like I already have issues with optimizing for traffic, any type of traffic, like link clicks and landing page views. But at least if you can put guardrails on the targeting, you might be able to talk me into it if it's really solid targeting. But beyond that, once you go outside of that, it's a problem. So let's talk about a potential solution to try to make broad targeting work for the purpose of driving traffic. Now, when I talk about driving traffic, I'm not saying driving traffic to a landing page. You should be using some sort of purchase or something down lower funnel for that. In this case, I've got a blog. I want people who are deeply engaged in my blog to go there, okay? Or who will be deeply engaged. So a link click, landing page view, that's not enough. I want people who are there intentionally because they want to learn. So they spend more time there, they scroll, they maybe watch an embedded video, all these other things that I measure with custom events. So if you followed my stuff before, you know that I've used custom events for this purpose in the past. But now the caveat is, let's see if we can make this work with broad targeting, okay? So let me walk you through what this approach is and how you can maybe try this out yourself too. So the first thing is it needs to be engagement objective. Maybe that doesn't make sense to you, but it can't be, it's not a lead. We're not talking about a sale. This is a specific type of engagement on my website. Luckily, you will have the option of a website conversion location. You will want your set a performance goal of maximum number of conversions, select your pixel, and then your conversion event. Now you would have had to already create all these custom events for some of these things that I value that show that someone is deeply engaged with my content. One of them is video watched, which they have started a video, embedded video on my website. It's a YouTube video. So I can optimize for that. I can track it as well. Okay, so, but I went back and forth on what event to use for this. I've used others in the past. The problem is that the issue of quality can be, even with these custom events, can be an issue, right? So if it's for time spent, so okay, when I optimize for people who spend at least a minute, 2 minutes, even 3 minutes, the funny thing is the algorithm learns and all of a sudden these people aren't even scrolling. They aren't doing anything else. That's bad. We want to avoid that. So video watched is one. Another one is internal link clicks. So they've clicked other links on my website. That's one I'm going to watch for. But this is what I'm going to use. For any of these, use an attribution setting of 1 day click. So unless we're talking about purchase, I have a hard time, accepting the argument that you should use 7 day click, 1 day view for anything other than purchase. Here, the algorithm could be really confused. Or, again, try to get you as many of these conversions as possible that are view through, which wouldn't make sense for this type of thing, or 7 day click, which again, would not make sense. This isn't any kind of commitment. They're just reading a blog post, right? So 1 day click, whatever budget you want to use. I'm using these 4 main countries, also excluding the people who have already visited all these blog posts I'm promoting in these ads and sat there for at least 15 seconds, okay? So I'm excluding that. And then using Advantage Post Audience, I'm still comfortable using audience targeting suggestions in this case. I want to give it a starting point. So I'm using people who've watched that, who have fired that event in the past 180 days, that video watched. Also just my top 25% of time spent on the website over the last 180 days. And then it can expand beyond that as much as it wants. And then finally, I'm using all placements because, link clicks, landing page views, that it would be absolutely problematic for audience network because of accidental clicks and just low quality traffic. But once again, the measure isn't going to be a link click. It's going to be to actually do some stuff on my website. So the algorithm should learn from that and not get swayed by accidental clicks and bots and stuff from audience network. So I'm using all placements in this case. And now let me give you an example of the ad. So I've got actually 7 different ads for 7 different posts, and then I'll let the algorithm kind of sort it out if there's some that work better than the others. And then I could turn the other ones off if I want. But I started with this promoting a reel. And then I realized that didn't really even make sense because there's a reel with a CTA button going to the actual post on my website. It's like, well, if they already watched the video in the reel, why are they going to watch the video again on my website? So what I did was I kept that original copy for those reels, took the screenshot of basically the first frame and used it as my image for it. There's not anything misleading with play buttons or anything like that. And then they click on that, they go to a website. And here's an example of what one of these custom post types looks like. The video is embedded at the top, and then it's basically a short blog post after that. So there's all kinds of stuff someone could do to show that they're deeply engaged. So beyond that, it's pretty straightforward. And the results I've seen so far is that the algorithm has been learning. And even though I'm not getting a ton of the video watched events, that's okay because these are full blog posts too. And what I am seeing is these are quality visitors who are spending more time, who are scrolling, who are doing other things. You can measure that, first of all, with other custom events, but also with UTM parameters and your GA4. So try that out. Again, sometimes we just need creative solutions to problems. It would be ideal if Meta would come up with a quality traffic solution for standard events or something like that, where we can optimize for quality traffic. I've been complaining about that for years. Now, for more on this and the broad targeting issues generally with top of the funnel, go to johnloomer.com/broad. All right, thanks for joining me today. Take care.